God's peace to you this morning, this Saturday, August 8th, 2020. We are now to the gospel for this coming Sunday, tomorrow, and we are in Matthew 14, verses 22 through 33. Jesus has just performed this miraculous giving of 5,000 plus people all the food from several loaves of bread and 2 fish. So now he's sending the crowds away after they've been satisfied, and he makes the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. And after he dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. He didn't get in the boat with his men. He sent them on, and he was there alone. And it was evening, and the boat by this time was long away from the land. I mean, he was nowhere near them. But it was beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. And in the fourth watch, very early in the morning, he came to them, walking on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It's a ghost." And they cried out in fear. Immediately, Jesus said to them, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately again, reached out his hand, took hold of him, saying to Peter, "O you, Peter, of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. And those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Sometimes we get these different ideas about these miracles of Jesus. What these guys needed to see is not only could he make a meal for thousands from just a little bit of food, but he was in control of everything. His first miracle, he took water and made it into wine. And he was healing and casting out demons, and they were still doubting. When we look at this in the light of law and gospel, Jesus sends his followers into danger to test in what they would trust and who they would trust. And he goes to pray, and maybe he was praying that they would trust him as Lord overall, and kind of get more and more, with it. But notice he doesn't stop Peter. Once Peter says to him, "Lord, if it is you," he commands Peter to come to him. And when Peter looks around, instead of at Jesus and keeps Jesus focused, he would be fearful. Doesn't mean there isn't fear. Doesn't mean there is fear. It just, there's Jesus. And when Jesus gets into your view and you focus on him, a lot of other things just sort of fade from view. The gospel is that Jesus comforts us, forgives us, and calls us to him in the middle of the storm, not in some magical way, but to trust him in the middle and know that he is ruler over all. And he gives us sustenance, his word. He reminds us we are baptized into his name and that he feeds us with his own meal. He will give us what we need just when we need it in the storm. Peter's prayer is a prayer we should remember. Jesus, save me. Jesus, save me. Dear Jesus, save us. For we do not know how to handle life's storms, and we don't know what to do. And you do send us into them, but you're always there. You come to us. We don't have to come looking for you. Help us to remember these things and sustain us with your word and with your mysteries, your sacraments. Remind us we are fed by you, not by others. Bless us this day, O Lord, and remember we cannot save ourselves. Amen. God's blessings to you, and we will hopefully talk again sometime. Goodbye for now.